Okay, I have to ask you a question, and I want you to be honest. When I say the word networking, what's the immediate, like, physical reaction you have? Is it a spark of joy, or is it maybe more like a mild stomach cramp?
Oh, it's the cramp. 100%. For me, and I think for most people, it just, it conjures up images of bad hotel coffee and that uh, awkward small talk.
The small talk, yeah.
And just that overwhelming urge to, like, hide in the bathroom, check your email, just to look busy.
Exactly. It feels so transactional, like you're walking into a room of vampires where everyone is just trying to suck value out of everyone else. It's
Is
exhausting.
It is. It's a game of what can you do for me? And
Mhm.
because of that, it just feels fake.
But today, we are flipping that script entirely. We're doing a deep dive into a book that, I'll be honest, I didn't know what to make of when I first saw the cover. It's called The Art of Connecting, High-Level Public
It's a
Relations.
fascinating text.
Really?
It really is.
It is. It's by an author named Susie Taylor, who also goes by this persona, Diva D Miami. And let me tell you, this is not your standard corporate networking guide. This is not about optimizing your LinkedIn.
Not at all. This is networking as a spiritual act. It's what she calls high-level public relations.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
she combines these really high society protocols with deep spiritual work.
We have to talk about her, the author, before we get into the tactics, because her background just sets the whole tone.
It really does.
On the book jacket, she lists her titles. And you've got the standard stuff, right? CEO, high-level PR specialist. But then she lists representative of the World Peace Summit.
Which is pretty impressive.
And then, and this is my personal favorite title of all time, researcher in deficiencies to achieve success.
That one stopped me in my tracks, too.
Right.
Researcher and deficiencies. It sounds almost, clinical? But it suggests she's looking at what's missing in people.
What's missing that prevents them from connecting?
Right.
It's not just here's how to succeed. It's here's what's broken in you that we need to fix first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's coming at this from a totally unique perspective. She's blending corporate strategy with a lot of soul. And that's really the mission of this deep dive today. We're going to unpack her method for what she calls activating your personal shine.
Activating your shine. I love that phrasing.
It's catchy, but it's deep. It's all about navigating these high-stakes social environments. We're talking VIP rooms, diplomatic events, big conferences, but doing it with what she calls emotional elegance.
Emotional elegance. Wow, that is such a better goal than just confidence. So where does Diva D Miami start? Is it the handshake, the elevator pitch?
No. And this is where she loses the people who just want a quick fix,
Mm.
but she hooks the people who want real change. She starts way, way before you even enter the room. Chapter 1, she lays down the foundation, the spiritual connection.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because usually when business books talk about spirituality, it can get a little fluffy.
She is surprisingly practical about it. Her whole core premise is that you literally cannot connect with other people effectively until you've connected with the divine or, your spiritual self. She calls it the first level of success.
So it's an inside-out approach. You can't be good on the outside if you're a mess on the inside.
Precisely. If you walk into a networking event and you are internally chaotic or needy or desperate for a sale, you just repel people. Humans are intuitive. We can smell desperation.
So how do we fix the internal chaos? What are the tools?
She lists specific ones. The first is prayer. But she describes prayer not just as a religious act, but as a formula that activates wisdom and discernment.
A formula. That's interesting. It makes it sound almost like a utility.
To her it is. It's about alignment. She also talks about using nature and silence as tools, literally using the environment to find your balance before you step into the noise of an event. It's about managing your battery. You need to be fully charged.
There was one statistic in this section that really stuck with me. It was about fear. Because let's be real, the root of all networking anxiety is fear.
Ah, yes. The 365 statistic.
Yes. She points out that the phrase, do not be afraid, appears in the Bible 365 times.
One for every single day of the year.
That just hit me so hard. It's like a daily prescription.
It is. And her point is that putting yourself out there is terrifying. We fear rejection. We fear looking stupid. We fear being ignored. She's using that stat to say, look, you have a daily mandate to not let fear run the show.
If you're operating from fear, you're contracted. You're small.
Right. You can't shine if you're hiding.
That is huge.
Yeah.
Because even the most confident people get that little knot in their stomach. But she takes this spiritual foundation a step further with discernment. This isn't just about being nice to everyone, is it?
No, and this is where the high-level part really comes in. She talks about testing the spirits.
That sounds intense. Testing the spirits?
It does, But in a secular business context, we might call it, vetting the vibe or reading the room, but on a much deeper level. She's saying you need to know who is good for you and who isn't before you even say hello.
So it's filter.
A very intentional filter. She says we need to clothe ourselves in wisdom so we don't waste energy on connections that aren't aligned with our purpose. We've all met people who just drain our battery instantly.
Oh, absolutely. The energy vampires.
Taylor says you have a responsibility to discern that immediately. Testing the spirits prevents you from getting entangled with people who are going to drag you down or distract you from your mission.
Okay, so we've prayed, we found our zen in nature, we're not afraid, and we're discerning. Now we're ready to activate our shine. This is section 2. How do we actually do this? Is this just fake it till you make it?
Oh, she is vehemently opposed to fake it till you make it. She has a great line, authentic shine is not imitated, it is cultivated.
I like that because the instinct is to see the most charismatic person in the room and just try to copy them.
And it almost always fails because it just rings false. It's like wearing a suit that doesn't fit. Taylor argues your magic is in being yourself. But she does give us specific tools to project that self. And the first one is the smile.
Chapter 11, The Power of the Smile. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, really, a chapter on smiling. But she breaks this down like a scientist.
She really does. She talks about 3 types of smiles. And understanding the difference is crucial. First, you have the genuine smile. This involves the eyes. It's real emotion. It signals safety.
Then there's the courteous smile.
Right. That's the professional one. The I'm listening to your presentation smile. It's polite. It builds trust without words. Very necessary.
But then she warns against the third one, the ironic smile.
The ironic smile. This is the danger zone.
What does that even look like?
It's the smirk. It's that half smile that conveys sarcasm or, I know something you don't. It says, I'm above this. Taylor says, avoid this at all costs.
Why is it so damaging?
Because it just breaks trust instantly. It signals arrogance. A smile should break the ice, not create a barrier. If you're smirking, you're judging. And if you're judging, you're not connecting.
It's amazing how much a microexpression like that can change the dynamic. I feel like our generation uses irony as a shield sometimes, but she's saying, put the shield down.
Exactly. Vulnerability wins. Irony loses.
She also talks about listening, but she frames it differently than the usual active listening advice. She connects it directly to empathy.
Yeah, she says empathy is the language that speaks for you. When you really listen, not just hearing words so you can prepare your rebuttal, but understanding the emotion, the other person walks away with a specific feeling. The goal is for them to think, I felt comfortable with you.
I felt comfortable with you. That is a great metric. It's not, I was impressed by you.
No. Impressing people is ego. Making them comfortable is connection. I mean, think about the VIP she deals with. Everyone is trying to impress them. Everyone is pitching them. If you're the one person who just makes them feel safe and heard, you win.
That is a powerful distinction. And surprisingly, part of that comfort is hygiene. Chapter 12 is all about image and presence.
She's very blunt about it, yeah. Posture, hygiene, cleanliness. She calls this a form of self-respect.
It feels a little like your mom telling you to wash behind your ears.
It does, but she frames it as your letter of introduction. Before you say a single word, your appearance has already introduced you. If you look chaotic or uncared for, people just subconsciously assume your work or your mind is chaotic too.
It's the packaging for the shine. You can have a heart of gold, but if you smell bad, nobody's getting close enough to see it.
Blunt, but true.
Okay, let's get into the tactical stuff. We're in the room, we look good, we're smiling genuinely. Section 3 is the high-level strategy. And Diva D Miami has some very strict protocols here.
This is where her experience with the World Peace Summit really shines through. This is the high-level part of the title. She talks about the approach protocol in Chapter 18. And this is a game changer for anyone who has to deal with influential people.
The approach protocol. Walk us through it. What's the scenario?
Okay, so picture this. You're at a gala. You see a really influential person, a CEO, a dignitary, and they're standing there with their partner or a family member.
The instinct is to just ignore the family member and go straight for the target, right? Laser focus.
And that is the fatal mistake. Taylor says you have to respect the natural order. You do not rush in. You acknowledge the group first. You show deference to the partner.
So you actually talk to the spouse first?
Often, yes.
Oh.
Or at least you acknowledge them with equal weight. Respect opens the door. If you bypass the people they care about to get to them, you've insulted them before you've even introduced yourself. You've signaled you're a user.
That is such good advice. It's about recognizing the human being, not just the title.
Exactly. It's trust. If you respect my family, I trust you. And she also talks about trust before transaction.
Meaning.
Connect with the environment first, then the person. Don't lead with your ask. Don't just shove a business card in their face. Establish a human moment. And this goes hand in hand with her pre-event protocol.
Which is basically, do your homework.
Yes. Chapter 15. Research the attendees. Know who is going to be there. Identify challenges they might be facing. If you walk in blind, you're just hoping for luck. High-level PR is strategy, not luck. If you know that CEO just launched a new initiative, you have an opener that isn't about the weather.
And when you finally get that moment to speak, what do you say?
The elevator pitch. Chapter 4. But again, it's about brevity. A brief, honest summary of who you are.
And knowing when to shut up.
That is crucial. She frames time management as a form of respect. High-level people have very limited time. Knowing when to close a conversation is just as important as knowing how to start one.
I think we've all been trapped by the lingerer, the person who just doesn't pick up on the cue that the conversation is over.
Don't be that person.
Yeah.
If you linger too long, you go from being a charming connection to a nuisance. You want to leave them wanting more, not looking for the exit.
Get in, make a genuine connection, and get out before things get awkward. But what if things do get awkward? What if someone is just plain rude to you? Or what if you get snubbed?
And that happens, especially in these high-stakes environments. And this leads us to section 4, emotional elegance.
I love this phrase, emotional elegance. It sounds so much better than holding your temper.
It's about handling tension or people who try to, as she puts it, dim your shine. And her key tactic is simple, but incredibly hard to do. Do not react from the ego.
That is the hardest thing in the world. When someone snubs you, the ego just wants to fight back. It wants to say, do you know who I am?
And Taylor says, maintain a neutral expression and a polite smile. Do not compete. Do not justify. Do not lower yourself. You just move forward with dignity.
There is an analogy in chapter 22 that I absolutely loved, the gold coin.
Yes. We are not a gold coin.
It sounds like a riddle.
It's a reality check. A gold coin is liked by everyone because it has universal value. Everyone wants gold. But you're a person. You're not a gold coin. So statistically, you won't be liked by everyone.
Right.
And she says that is okay. Acceptance of that fact is what strengthens your character.
That is so freeing. You walk into a room and you think, I am not a gold coin. Some people just won't want to buy what I'm selling today, and that's fine.
Exactly. It stops you from begging for acceptance. She calls it connecting without begging. If you need everyone to like you, you have no power. If you're okay with some people not liking you, you are invincible.
But let's say the anxiety isn't from a rude person. It's just coming from inside you. You're just freaking out.
She gives a very specific breathing technique for that, the 4-7-8 breathing.
Walk us through that, because I think I need to do this before my next meeting.
It's a physiological reset. You inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. You hold the breath for 7 seconds.
7 seconds feels like an eternity when you're panicked.
It does.
Yeah.
But that pause is where the magic happens. And then you exhale forcibly through your mouth for 8 seconds.
Inhale 4, hold 7, exhale 8.
She suggests doing this in the car or in the hallway right before you walk through the doors. It forces your parasympathetic nervous system to kick in. You literally breathe yourself back into control.
I feel calmer just hearing about it.
Oh.
Okay, so we've navigated the room. We handled the rude guy with emotional elegance. We didn't overstay our welcome. The event is over. Now what? Now comes the long game.
This is where the second chord comes in.
The second chord, chapter 19. What does she mean by that?
Think of the first meeting as just a thin thread. It's fragile. The second chord is the consolidation. It's the follow-up. But she is very, very specific about how you do this.
No generic nice to meet you emails, I'm guessing.
Please, no. Those get deleted instantly. She says the follow-up must be brief, clear, and focused on adding value.
Adding value, that's the key.
Reciprocity is the name of the game. High-level connections operate on exchange. If you are just taking, you aren't connecting.
So what does a value-add follow-up look like?
It connects back to the actual conversation. I remember you mentioned you were looking for a graphic designer. Here's the best one I know. Or we talked about this trend. Here's an article that explains it.
So you're giving them a gift, essentially.
Exactly. It shows 2 things. 1, you were listening. That goes back to the empathy piece. And 2, you're a giver, not just a taker.
And this ties into her whole definition of a PR specialist in Chapter 8. She says you need to act as your own PR agent.
She defines a PR specialist as a bridge between image and trust, which is a beautiful definition. When you meet someone, you're just an image. When you follow up effectively and add value, You become trust. You build that bridge.
It really is a comprehensive system. It goes from prayer to breathing all the way to the second chord.
It's a complete arc. You start with spiritual preparation, getting your own house in order. Then you use the approach protocol to enter their space respectfully. And finally, you use the second chord to turn a contact into a real alliance.
And throughout all of it, you have to maintain that emotional elegance. I think that's going to be my mantra for the week.
It's a good one. It applies to everything, not just networking.
So let's summarize the big takeaway here. Susie Taylor, DVD Miami, she gives us all these protocols, but what is the heart of it all?
I think the core message is that true success isn't about the number of contacts in your phone. It's not about how many people you know. It is about how you impact the lives of the people who cross your path.
Everyone comes to teach us something, she says.
Right. And if you view networking as a way to impact lives rather than extract value, the fear just disappears. You're there to serve, not to take. You're there to shine your light.
That shifts the pressure entirely. You aren't there to close, you're there to connect.
It does. And it raises a really important question for us, especially now. We live in a world of infinite instant connections. LinkedIn, Instagram, Zoom. It's so easy to connect.
Too easy sometimes. I have thousands of friends I have never met.
Exactly. But are we using discernment? And that's the provocative thought I want to leave everyone with. In this digital age, are we taking the time to test the spirits of our connections? Are we ensuring that the people we let into our network actually align with our purpose? Or are we just collecting digital business cards because we think whoever dies with the most contacts wins?
Quality over quantity and spirit over strategy. That is the DVD Miami way.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to go practice my 4-7-8 breathing, maybe delete some LinkedIn requests from people I don't actually know, and work on my genuine smile. Thanks for unpacking this with me.
My pleasure.
And thank you for listening to this deep dive. Go out there, activate your shine, and we'll catch you in the next one.